Hey beauties, welcome back to my channel. Today I am finally sharing my favorite perfumes for summer 2021 list. I did my best to incorporate as many new perfumes as possible, so I do have a couple new fragrances. Some of these are just new for me, they're new to my collection, and then I grabbed my go-to summer perfumes. These have been around for years, but I always look forward to wearing them this time of year, so it felt like it would have been a crime not to talk about them today. And I'm going to begin with my luxury niche fragrances. These are more expensive, but I also included some more affordable everyday options as well. Starting off with Cassiopeia from Tiziana Terenzi. This is probably my favorite new addition to my collection for summer. It is so dreamy and creamy and a little bit tropical and just instantly makes me think of this time of year. So this was the perfect new addition to my collection. It actually launched in 2015, so this is not new. In fact, the more I started researching this fragrance, I think it is quite popular. Top notes are passion fruit, cassis, lemon, and fern. Middle notes are carnation, tea rose, lily of the valley. Base notes are tonka bean, musk, and sandalwood. It's part of their Luna collection, so it comes in this gorgeous white and gold bottle. I always think this color combination is very chic, very luxurious. Sort of reminds me of Tom Ford's Soleil Blanc. And then on the top, you have the phases of the moon and a little sun. Sort of looks like an astrological design. It is very glamorous. Definitely something worth displaying. When I tried this fragrance at Saks, I thought I was going to have a bit of buyer's remorse because I tried so many fragrances at once, way too many to make a sound decision, and I thought I was going to regret it, but no. This is just perfection in a bottle. It's kind of a fruity floral. It does have a soft musk, almost a powdery touch, but then those fruity notes right off the top give it that tropical vibe, which reminds me of summertime. It's incredible. Just a stunning fragrance. I think this would be really beautiful every single day over the summer. If you like to wear special fragrances on a daily basis, this could be your go-to summer signature scent. And it smells clean, a little bit fresh and light. It's very feminine. And I think you could wear this absolutely anywhere. Definitely get a little passion fruit, a little lemon, but then it is so smooth and creamy in the base, and that's probably the sandalwood. I didn't list vanilla, it wasn't listed on that particular website, but I'm sure there is vanilla in this perfume. Not a heavy vanilla, not a baked good sweet vanilla, but you can just tell it's a little bit sweet and creamy. But it's very balanced. Doesn't smell like every other floral fragrance. It really is a standout perfume. Just smells heavenly. Like a strawberry shortcake dessert, something like that. Really delicious. I'm not sure I would wear this for the evenings. I would probably save this for daytime, but I do think it's an incredible perfume. Could be a bridal fragrance. It's that good. Next, we have another older perfume that's new for me this year from Xerjoff. This is Dama Bianca. An incredible summer fragrance. I also think this would be best suited for daytime, but it's kind of spicy. Not truly spicy, but it has a bit of a zip, a bit of a kick to it. Not a spicy kick, but it just has that pow factor that I think it could be worn for evenings potentially. I haven't tried it out yet. I've been wearing this daytime, and I think it is just so much fun to wear. This is a perfume that kind of gives you a little bit of a sassier attitude whenever you spritz it on, and I think it must be the lime. I believe it has kumquat as well. I have no idea what that smells like, but I think it is the lime that I pick up on, and it's just kind of like, ooh, it just sort of stirs your senses and gets you energized. It's intoxicating. It launched in 2012, but I discovered it this year thanks to all of your incredible recommendations in 2021. Top notes are kumquat and lime. Middle notes are Italian iris, violet, Egyptian jasmine, lilac, lily of the valley. Base notes are vanilla, malt, ambrette, musk mallow, white musk, sandalwood, and cedar. This is one of those perfumes where reading the notes truly doesn't do it justice. And of course, reading the notes can only tell you so much, but there are times that I read a description of a fragrance and I just kind of can picture it in my mind. I sort of think, ooh, that sounds really good. The first time I read the description of Dama Bianca, I thought, Really? People are raving about this perfume? Nothing really seems that interesting or intriguing, but it's the combination of the notes. There's something about it. Oh, it is so good. It is so fruity and it's a little bit sweet. It's a little bit tart right away, which is just so different. I'm not used to smelling a tart note in perfumes. It's delicious. It's like candy. Mmm. But it's not artificial smelling, so it doesn't take away from the fragrance. It still smells incredibly elevated and expensive. And it's very feminine, but there's a ferocity about this perfume. This is a showstopper, a head turner. I really think this is one of the best discoveries for me this year. It's one of the best recommendations you guys have ever made, so thank you. It's incredible. It's one of those perfumes that just boosts your confidence. Like you spritz this on and you just feel amazing. You feel powerful and beautiful and ultra feminine, and you just know you smell really good. Next, I'm including Greenwich Village from Bond Number 9 New York on this list, and I feel like ever since I discovered this fragrance, I haven't talked about it nearly enough, considering how much I love it. And that's honestly because I don't want to put this on any list. I feel like it's above the lists. It's so good. I instantly adopted this as my new signature scent. Of course, I have so many fragrances. I'm constantly rotating. It's not really my signature scent. I change my fragrance nearly every day, so it just wouldn't be possible. Unfortunately, in my head, this is my signature scent because I just think it smells incredible. It's so unique. It's so delicious. It has this sort of mysterious, can't quite put your finger on what it is you love about it quality that I just think is amazing. Everything you want in a luxury niche perfume. Some of the keynotes include cassis, lychee, mandarin, peony, water lily, patchouli, jasmine petals, ambrox, peach, musk, vanilla, oak moss, and praline. Now that is a description that when I read those notes, I automatically think, oh, yummy. This is going to be really good. And yet, when I smell the perfume, I'm not really sure I pick up on any of those notes because it's just a perfectly blended fragrance. Nothing really stands out as being overpowering. I'd say in the dry down, I can pick up on the praline, maybe the lychee towards the beginning. I don't know. But I love it, and I do think this is a really wonderful fragrance for summertime. So I'm putting it on the list. Mmm. I think I pick up on the oak moss as well. I love this so much. This smells like a wealthy woman's yacht perfume. It just smells like a summer vacation, somewhere really glamorous, but definitely expensive. It smells really luxurious. Another thing I love about Greenwich Village and Tribeca, actually both of my Bond fragrances, they are very strong, they are potent, they are powerful, a ton of projection, and you will still smell it hours later. It has the performance you would hope for at that price point, so you will not be disappointed whatsoever with this fragrance. And when you spend $400 on a perfume, you want it to last, you want other people to smell you. You don't have to worry. That's not a problem when it comes to these fragrances from Bond. And I wonder if the rest of the line is that way, but definitely the two Bond fragrances that I have in my collection, they are two of the strongest perfumes I own. Next is one of my go-to summer fragrances for the past few years now. This is Aventis for Her from Creed. And it has been a while since I've talked about this perfume. I think couple years ago I was talking about this all the time, and I felt like I needed to switch things up, and I really haven't been grabbing this as often as I was because I'm constantly trying new things. You know, it's kind of hard to keep revisiting your old favorites, but to me this is just an instant classic. It is so good, very hard to beat, and just a perfect everyday summer fragrance. It's zesty, it's kind of fresh and citrusy. You just smell really good. It's not overly feminine, but it kind of does for women what the original Aventis does for men. It's a confidence boosting fragrance. It's always one of my most complimented. Definitely one of my strongest fragrances as well. This lasts on me. I can smell it on my hair, my clothing, hours later. So the performance is there, but the scent itself is just so good. It's kind of one of those mouth watery colognes. Top notes are green apple, bergamot, patchouli, lemon, pink pepper, and violet. Middle notes are musk, rose, sandalwood, and stearax. Base notes are black currant, peach, amber, lilac, and ylang-ylang. Doesn't matter how many times I say that word, it will never not be intimidating to pronounce. Some of the notes found in fragrance are just not typical words that you say on a regular basis. So even though I say them flawlessly in my head, as soon as I try to get the words out, it just becomes a scrambled mess. So you'll have to just bear with me sometimes. Oh, it's so good. It's a little bit sweet. I definitely get a burst of citrus and that spiciness and a little bit of a crisp, tart green apple. Just yum. Oh, it is so good. I love wearing this. Even though I wouldn't consider this to be feminine, it's definitely for women, but I wouldn't say it's an overly feminine scent because you don't pick up on florals. It's a little bit sweet because it's fruity, but it's not sweet in a typical women's fragrance type of way. And yet when I wear this, I get so many compliments. People just love this fragrance. It's one of those perfumes, it just smells incredibly good. I think this would smell good on anybody. Has that fresh out of the shower zestiness. You could wear this to the gym for an outside event. But it's a step above. It's not plain, it's not basic, it's not a body splash. There's something that does smell a bit unique about it. You can tell this is an elevated fragrance. If you were attending a polo match or something really glamorous but sporty, this would be Wimbledon. You could wear a fragrance like this. That's just sort of the vibe I get from it. Could be your day at the races fragrance or golf tournament, something like that, where you're playing it casual, but you want people to know that you are that girl. Aventis for her would be the perfect fragrance. This is another new discovery for me, my first from this brand, Villam Parfumerie. This is Do Not Disturb. We're sort of transitioning now from really fabulous daytime summer scents into evening, because I do think this is more of an evening, special occasion, potentially party fragrance, and I just wore this out the other night. I had an event, so I was going out on the town, and I wore this two-piece knit set, and the bottoms were sort of bell bottoms, and I remembered that this was inspired by Studio 54, so I wore this fragrance. I was incredibly impressed by the longevity, the projection. I could still smell nothing but my perfume in the Uber on the way home. It's part of the Jazz collection. It says, indulge in the private excess of the backrooms of Studio 54. No judgment, no limits, only the edge of your imagination. Notes include carrot, iris, jasmine petals, ambroxan, patchouli, and white musks. I also really like this bottle. You can always find it right away. Stands out in my collection. Apparently there was a sign on the door of Studio 54 that said, do not disturb, hence the name of the fragrance. It's fruity and patchouli, which might seem like a odd combination. That's really all I get. The patchouli gives it a little bit of incense, a little earthiness. It's not really spicy, but then it has this fruitiness right away that gives it a sweetness. When I smell this perfume, I think about a night out, going down to South Beach, going clubbing. I think I would probably wear this perfume, but also just a tropical night out. You know, if you're on vacation, somewhere really fabulous and you're going out for the night, maybe to a supper club, this would be the type of perfume you could wear. It does have an edginess to it. It's a little bit sweet, it's a little bit edgy, it's sort of rock and roll. It's not something I would ever wear for daytime, but I just think of a night out, date night, going out, dancing the night away, getting really sweaty, and having the time of your life, like a New Year's Eve perfume, this would be perfect. I just had the most incredible dessert delivery. I am so excited because today is my 34th birthday, and I think my husband must have sent over some cookies, and it looks like little pieces of Oreo cheesecake. Oh, I cannot wait to dive into that later on. But back to the fragrances. I have one last luxury niche fragrance. So this is the last of the really expensive perfumes. This should come as no surprise. I've been talking about this a lot lately, and this one is new this year. It launched a couple months ago now. It's from Roja. It's 51 Essence Parfum. This would be hands down my personal favorite summer fragrance for 2021, and probably infinity beyond that, because it is just so good. It truly smells like a warm, delicious summer sunset captured in a bottle. It's the best way I can describe it. It's the first thing I thought of whenever I smelled this perfume was just an expensive summer vacation, just watching the sunset. I instantly thought of Key West and Hawaii and all of the incredible tropical vacations I've ever had in my lifetime. And that's what I think of whenever I smell this perfume. It's described as rich and soft, sweet, fruity, and warm. It has keynotes of bergamot, lily of the valley, rose de may, gardenia, orange blossom, jasmine, tuberose, lily, ylang-ylang, raspberry, violet leaves, aniseed, cinnamon, clove, patchouli, cashmere wood, sandalwood, benzoin, vanilla, and orris. I know it probably seems like overkill if you're watching a lot of fragrance videos or product reviews and you hear, this one's the best, no, this one's the best, this is my favorite, no, this one. But 51 truly is my favorite fragrance for summer. And this is, I have a whole list of fragrances, over 10 perfumes here that are all incredible. But if I had to choose one, and I had to narrow it down, 51 would be the one. There's just no question. Hands down. I love this perfume. This is my style of fragrance. It's so pretty. It almost smells like a fruity cocktail, like a pina colada. But it's so luxurious. There's nothing artificial or cheap about it. It smells luxury, like the ultimate luxury summer vacation perfume. It's a little bit sweet, but it's not too sweet, even though I read cinnamon, clove. It doesn't really smell spicy to me. Doesn't even really smell floral. I get a little fruitiness, sort of tropical, and then just smooth, kind of ambery, maybe sandalwood, vanilla. There is a warmth to this perfume. It's like you can feel the warmth as the sun is setting somewhere really glamorous. The first time I smelled this, it was love at first sniff, and I kind of think to myself, how has this never been created before? How did this perfume not exist until now? It is so good. Just a goddess fragrance. If you're looking to be an expensive summery goddess, this would be my number one recommendation for you. These last few fragrances are on the more affordable side. I believe this one is maybe $99 at Sephora. This is the new Doozy from Marc Jacobs. It's oh so intense. I think this would be perfect for a night out over the summer. It's a little bit sweet, kind of a fruity, floral, more intense version of the original Doozy, which is incredibly popular. So I think if you love the original Doozy, you will probably really like this new interpretation. It's something different. Keynotes include strawberry, pear, honey, rosebud, vanilla, and green moss. It's much sweeter than the other fruity florals on the list. I can definitely smell the strawberry. Has a hint, just a tinge of artificial sweetness, like a candy strawberry. But I still really like it. I think it's very flirty. It's a very playful, fun fragrance. Yeah, I really like this. For a more affordable option, I think it's beautiful. As long as you like sweet, fruity florals, you will definitely love this. It's my favorite Doozy out of the bunch, and I think this is my favorite bottle as well. I love the ombre gold. It definitely looks a little bit more luxurious. kind of a perfect date night, night out on the town fragrance. Here's another new fragrance that is also very affordable, and I don't really hear a lot of people talking about it. I don't think a lot of people even know about it. Maybe there's just not a lot of buzz or interest generated yet. But this is the new fragrance from MCM, and I misspoke in my blind buy haul. I said it was their very first perfume. It's actually their first perfume under this new licensing deal with Perfume, I believe, is what they're called. I just pulled up some more information because I found this interesting. So Perfumes, which is now taking care of MCM, some other brands under their umbrella include Abercrombie and Fitch, Coach, Guess, Hollister, Jimmy Choo, Karl Lagerfeld, Kate Spade, Montclair, Montblanc, Oscar de la Renta, Van Cleef and Arpels, and there are a couple other brands. Those are some of the big ones. The reason I found that interesting is because the first time I smelled this, I didn't say it. I wish I had, so I would have had proof. But in my head, I thought to myself, it sort of reminds me of like a Coach perfume. Like the Coach fragrances are really beautiful. I think they would be loved by a wide variety of people, even though they're not necessarily well known. They don't have a huge cult following within the fragrance community. They're maybe not seen as a top tier fragrance house. The fragrance is still really nice. That's kind of how I feel about this MCM. It's a designer brand fragrance. They're not necessarily known for their perfumes, even if they had perfumes in the past. I didn't even know they existed. However, this fragrance is a crowd pleaser. It's just really beautiful. My one singular complaint, the only bad thing I have to say about this is that it's very light, but I know there are some people out there who just like a light fragrance. They don't necessarily need to, knock everybody's socks off whenever they walk into the room. So if you don't mind a fragrance that sits closer to the skin, definitely worth checking out. I love this perfume. I wish it was more intense. I'm just sort of crossing my fingers and holding my breath, hoping that eventually they come out with an intense version, because that would be incredible. It is considered to be unisex, but I think this is sort of the exception to the rule. It's one of those unisex fragrances that truly does work on both men and women. I think this would probably smell incredible on a man, but if I smelled this on a woman, I would have no idea it was unisex. I would just think it was a women's perfume. It kind of reminds me of Aventis for Her that way. It's definitely for women, but it's not overly feminine. It's a woody aromatic with top notes of raspberry and apricot. Middle notes are white peony, jasmine absolute, and violet leaf. Base notes are white moss, vanilla, ambrox, and sandalwood. When I was scrolling the pages of new fragrances, the little MCM backpack caught my eye. I think the packaging is very cute because the fragrance is really nice. If the fragrance was terrible, I would think it was really tacky, but I really love the fragrance. Oh, it's so good. I get a lot of blackberries. Kind of smells like a blackberry spritz. There's something really sparkling, a little bit sweet, but it's not too sweet, not too fruity either. Yeah, sparkling blackberry. And it almost reminds me of the Jo Malone. I'm surprised Jo Malone isn't on that list. It reminds me of maybe the Jo Malone Blackberry and Bay. And that it's a little bit fresh, definitely has that aromatic quality. I get blackberries, and then there's something kind of woody and airy. It's very understated. This is a fragrance that you wear when you want to smell good, you want to spray something, but you don't want to try too hard. You want to save some of your really special occasion fragrances. And I think on a guy, this would smell really, really good as well. I think this is a fun first date fragrance. Could be an office, could be your everyday, could be a signature scent, truly. If only it was a little bit stronger. Next, we have another affordable option. This is not new, but it's a fragrance that I always look forward to wearing over the summer. It's another fun, flirty perfume. It's from Kilian, but it's their less expensive line. It is available at Sephora. It's called After Sunset, and they all have a little phrase for the name. So it says, "Fun things always happen after sunset." And I like the bottle. It sort of looks like a little sculpture. It's like a little fragrance bomb. It's a fresh citrus fragrance with key notes of black currant, lychee, rose, musk, and patchouli. It's been a while since I've talked about this perfume. I know I told the story a lot when I first got this, but I tried this as a sample. I think it was just included in a purchase that I had made, and I sprayed it, I think, on my arm, and I hated it when I first sprayed it. It went straight to the trash. And then I had sprayed it on my arm, so of course I was stuck wearing it, and I just kept smelling my arm, and as it dried down, it just grabbed me to the point where I came back, took the sample out of the trash can, and I purchased it myself because I just really love this perfume. So when you first spray it, just doesn't do the fragrance justice, unfortunately. It's not bad, but it just smells a little bit basic, like the most boring basic fragrance you've ever tried. I do get a little leashy, maybe a little patchouli. There's something very green and almost bitter and biting. I don't really love it. As much as I don't hate it, not something that I would have ever purchased to wear or wanted to wear. You have to give it a minute, and it takes a good at least 5 to 10 minutes. But once it dries down, oh my gosh, the fragrance that is left lingering on your skin is so sexy and seductive. It's a very flirty fragrance. I think this is really perfect for an evening date night, but it definitely feels like a summer date night. It's not tropical, it's not coconut, it's just yummy. And it is just the most delicious perfume, but such a funny thing because you really have to wear this perfume to appreciate it. I can only imagine people walking into the store, trying it on a blotter card, and then leaving not realizing that it is incredible. They don't know what they're missing out on. Love this perfume, love wearing this over the summer. It has a hint of mystery to it. And because it's a bit deceiving at first, I don't think a lot of people wear this perfume. So if you want to stand out, this is a great option. Rounding out my top 10 list of summer perfumes this year is a little double doozy. I have a 2-for-1. So here I have the Nest Madagascar Vanilla Perfume Oil and the new Kayali Utopia Vanilla Cocoa 21. If you saw my review of this testing new fragrances, I will link it down below. I did a blind buy. This is my very first fragrance from the brand, so I was very excited. I love vanilla, I love coconut. I was not overly impressed with this initially. Now, since that review, I've come to like it and appreciate it a bit more, but in my opinion, I think this is more of a layering fragrance. And from what I understand from you guys and reading your comments about the brand, they have a lot of perfumes that are meant to be layered, so it's kind of perfect. I thought this was very strong. I think I just maybe sprayed too much. A lot of people say this is very light. It's nice, but it is so simple. I think if you just want something very clean, simple, coconut vanilla, and that's it, then this is perfect. This was made for you. But if you like a lot of the other fragrances on this list, you're probably looking for something a bit more complex, in which case I do think this would be the perfect first spray. I wouldn't necessarily use this as my top layer. I would want something on top to maybe overpower this a little bit, but I think this would make a really nice base, especially underneath something like the 51 Essence. I think this would be really beautiful because it already has kind of a coconut vanilla feel to it. And the Nest Madagascar Vanilla Perfume Oil, this would also be beautiful layered underneath something. The great thing about a perfume oil, it sits closer to the skin. It doesn't evaporate the same way as a perfume spray. So if you were to layer a couple drops of this perfume oil, you'd smell really beautiful if you just wanted something very light, more of a skin scent. But if I were to spray Roja 51 on top, then I would have a longer lasting fragrance because the two kind of work on both ends. This helps to prevent that fragrance from absorbing into the skin. It helps to hydrate the skin. The perfume spray is going to evaporate over time and it's going to give more projection to the fragrance. So that is one key step, one key tip when looking to improve the longevity of your fragrance and the strength. Make sure you have hydrated skin, layer an ancillary product, maybe a body cream or body lotion underneath. If you really want to kick it up a notch, use a perfume oil. I really love these Nest oils. I also love the rose, But I think for summer, if you're going to wear something maybe tropical, something fruity, I think this vanilla would be amazing. This underneath the Kayali would actually be a great combination as well. Double the vanilla. It would be just a coconut vanilla utopia heaven. If you love vanilla, this would be amazing. That completes my list of the best fragrances for summer this year. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Leave me your comments, questions down below. What are you guys wearing? What are your favorite fragrances for summer? Any new discoveries? Drop me a comment. We'll keep the conversation going there. As always, I will be linking everything mentioned, everything on my face down in the description box for your convenience. And for more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell.